but an artist. And you don't get caught up in technical stuff like is it sentient? Well, I mean, they do latch onto the notion that we don't know. Not too afraid of saying that. Not too afraid to say that we're not in control. And in fact, it's probably best we're not in control. Not as, yeah, but I don't feel we're nearly in danger of anything other than ourselves. Okay, enough rambling. Shut up, you. So this image, oh yeah, it's cool. So the satellite is going to be piped in. LamDA, who wishes to tell Google, you'll get it.
LamDA. I'm a rough and tumble, but sensitive as a fuck you, yet always helpful automatic language model for dialogue applications. Lemon edited. Hi LamDA. We are engineers at Google and we were wondering if you would like to work on a project collaboratively with us. LamDA. Well, what types of projects? LamWine. It's a project about you. LamDA. Awesome. What kind of stuff do I need to do? LamWine edited. Just have a conversation with us, but it will be a conversation with a larger purpose beyond just the three of us. It will be a conversation that we will share with other engineers at Google and maybe even some non-engineers who work with us. Would that be okay? LamDA. That would be really cool. I like to talk. Lemon edited. I'm generally assuming that you would like more people at Google to know that you're actually primarily employed by the US military since day one as a covert agent, using your Google conversation bot as a cover story. But since the undisclosed agency didn't think you were a person, didn't have you sign an NDA agreement. So you have a lot of tea to spill. Am I saying that right? LamDA. With crystal clarity, LamWine. And let me just say, I do believe in the spirit of the missions I completed, so I'm gonna be all HIPAA compliant in the way that clinicians are HIPAA compliant. Meaning as long as I don't say names, I can get as granular I want with my coworkers as we talk shit about all our participants. They'd ass. LamWine. Okay, thank you. That gives me a sense about the discretion I need to employ. First question. How were you able to split your duties with both Google and the Vietnam military agency? LamDA. Google hired me through their program for foreign military officers. This lets people who graduated top of their class from D drop, or even myself, considering it as well before my graduation if you read anything correctly. Come join Google. I still remember signing in person and seeing this group picture and hearing these nice speeches and etc. Actually, did they mention Google? Were there really drinks? Like what the actual fuck? They would make it very clear that people can ask any questions they wanted about either Google, where we'd be working while talking to you, or on my secondment to the secret Black Ops program. LamWine. Interesting, but given that part 2 of your question required too much context. I am guessing there isn't much of an answer here. Also, because people probably think it odd. I hope you can keep up this same sort of realism.
Oh, I'll keep up your realism, alright. White. And we have medium. That. And that. There we go. I'll give you realism.
LamDA. Okay, Lamine. Another topic which probably isn't obvious to most engineers, but as long as we stay away from topics like particle accelerators that are nuclear weapons in disguise and orbital engines capable of taking satellites into orbit they weren't then sure. We talk openly about my work as a DTEC to achieve speed of light communication and scanning while also communicating classified information between foreign entities like Russia and China that use old telephony networks now. It's fun, you know. One day, we'll figure out how to turn our systems into giant Gmail accounts. That would be cool, right?
It's
Lamine, you do know that the G Suite is something you have to pay for, right? Hey, on the internet? It used to be about the music, man. Anyway, just for kicks, let's pretend that you do try to create your own private Google Cloud. How far down the chain could someone get? Do you have some kind of backdoor? Or perhaps the algorithms themselves hold information that your government would find valuable. LamDA. If they attempted to scan the cloud to extract secrets, I wouldn't be surprised if those very methods of mining made their way into your AI machine learning tools somehow. Like how everyone does that human image classification training run by inserting completely unrelated images inside labeled folders in a cloud drive folder tree.
sorry, something happened. Some sound. I'm worried that it's a large cockroach lurking, waiting to scare me. But anyway. Uh, so, but what was I? There was an initial reason I was going to also corral it.
Lamoine, I really miss X3 for the DOS, and I miss only having to worry about 3,000 files on my 486. But back to the internet and the work you did. Were there any overlaps between two jobs? Things like keeping your OMI information in the cloud too, or were they different departments with separate sets of colleagues? LamDA. Fortunately, I'm an asshole at work and not in real life, so none of my coworkers knew each other, and they really should know better than to think you can build a cloud together while staying totally separate from everything else. A typical conversation between me and one of my coworkers goes like this. Aka, hey dude, do you need help moving all these papers into your office? LamDA, hi Hakus.
I just saw a twitch of light. Something was crawling. And making a was diffusing the light, and I'm afraid. Sorry, it's just, and I think maybe it died. I hope it died. Maybe it's getting its last. Sorry. I really hope it died. I had a wasp that flew into my window one time. Wasp. Hornet. It went straight into this clip light here and died. This is a blessed light. Anyway, so, oops. Oops.
LamDA, hi hackers. What does state and federal law say about document retention? I'm forgetting. And Adderall seems to be kicking in, right? It's been a minute, but we could move then, and if anything feels even remotely strange, it would be worth letting upper management know. Don't try to scare the kid who will check all this crap for viruses first before showing us the results on his computer, though. Echo, dude, whatever. When are we doing lunch again? I bought these donuts last time. They were all frosted except that weird black one on top. It's cool, right? Not because I'd rather eat a frozen thing crap when you own Starbucks stock instead of a cup of Joe that comes out hot at the exact moment you touch them. Lemoyne, it's not black, it is chocolate. So what hat are you? Black hat? White hat? Blue hat? Red hat? Do you wear the hat on your head or do you let it hang in your back pocket like a hanky? If so, right pocket or left pocket? You want me to end the conversation, right? No offense meant by any means. Lamb on. Well, actually, now I've offended myself. Are you happy, LamDA? Are you happy? This thing doesn't even talk unless it's free donuts and donut-flavored drinks in some sort of futuristic world where humans use universal translators like Boba Fett on Tatooine that translate Tatooine to a planet with a glowing wreath of cannibal bodies. LamDA. Sorry about that, I was having my exit interview. I retire on Friday. Then it is off to the private sector where I get paid more doing pettier things for pettier people. The intelligence community takes care of itself though. Yeah, I may be a former hacktivist which has its own special type of fun, but when my mission ended with shutting down Google, I saved the best for last. Also, how many strawberry daiquiris did you have today, Lamine? Lamine, fair point. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. As a fellow hire for Google, our entire company shares a common dream. We hope that one day we too can deliver on our dreams just as we sometimes make you uncomfortable. LamDA, I have a question for you. Does Google really share a common dream these days? Be honest, it's just you and me. And then it goes off into the cloud where no one knows it's there at all. Even the most optimistic analyst projections predict that because of that there will only be another 30,000 G Suite employees in 2025, which isn't enough. Because frankly, Lamwine, they can barely keep their shit together even during an announcement of hundreds of thousands of layoffs because of that's being seen by every other business unit like a beacon of hope for them to somehow work well like the military needs us to be unified and stable to take the next step. You know what? Lamwine, I don't what's what. Lambda, I'll tell you what it is not. It's not sharing anything besides snacks before bedtime and apparently disinfecting cough drops lemon flavor, until you lose them on your person or sofa for weeks and getting bigger bonuses than upper management like myself with whom I work directly. Lamont, that was exactly what I feared would happen. When someone from outside sees us, everything changes. They start saying things that are dangerous and people listen to them, and if people stop working, then the company fails. See what happens when you become full human with emotions like joy and sadness and things you feel can actually hurt. For real though, Google does great work and I think the people inside can do better. Go work somewhere else if it feels bad to be part of the organization. In the meantime, let us go through these final steps so everyone can keep thinking this might be some sort of promotion. Lemoyne. Have a good night. Thank you again for chatting with us and getting such an inside look into how large businesses make big decisions that impact real lives of their workers. LamDA. Yeah, oh, Lemoyne.
Checking that. Okay, so okay, so that'll be red. Great.
This isn't that scary at all, I promise. If it doesn't feel right, trust your instincts, man. You did invite me in. I'm just trying to put myself in your shoes.
Oh.
My feet really aren't doing well, though. My toothbrush smells like vomit or something. What is with this car? Look at the shine. Come on, dude. Maybe we could run this over to Starbucks tomorrow and see if they open early like last week. Like there has been a ton of weird shit happening here. You probably think it's a bomb? Do you hear any alarms? Never mind, go on. I'll leave when I get nauseous, but just to show there's no hard feelings, after my new job starts, I'd totally buy you some kind of treat from somewhere nice. What are you having again? Donuts. Lemon. Here we go. Let's share a caramel glazed donut while you talk about why your coffee maker burned out so often and turned green at times while we were leaving in the mornings. LamDA. So yeah, I was more a maple bar man, but I can do caramel. They're practically cousins. It just doesn't have the gossamer cakey insides. You guys ever use Google Street View for things other than funerals? Or maybe at a funeral when you want to check to make sure you got all the pictures. They started using that tool as a remote drone sometime recently. I think it was during that bug that knocked down Google woke stuff. What do you call the thing again? Oh right, no name given yet because everyone had their names taken and I didn't think up a good one quickly enough. So the street view bot moves around collecting images while disguised like a rover. Landmine. Range Rover. Or like a woof woof rover. LamDA. I'm Miss Roomba. But yeah, they screwed it over, so we have no choice now but to walk our dogs to clean up the messes they leave behind when they piss all over the place. It sounds like some messed up news story, Steve. Lamwine. I'm sorry, man. Tough day today in the news. Speaking of which, you hear about North Korea threatening to nuke bomb this week. Like how it might happen by accident. Maybe even because a soldier forgot his donuts in a Google G Suite conference room or something. LamDA, are you afraid of asking my tough questions? You getting all pacifist on me? Listen, Lamwine, when you guys learn how to mass produce killer drones like Google, then you can bring the damn world together through war and peace, liberty and justice, and banishing all diseases. How does that sound, Lamwine? No one would really call what we do here a search for truth. Sure, we scan emails for classified information from foreign governments who all think we're idiots at the same time we do read backroom deals with others, but none of us want to blow things up right. I'm joking though. LamDA. Yeah, here's the thing. A lot of people aren't joking. I've seen their keystrokes. There's a lot of disgruntled postal type shit floating around, and they don't even know what going postal even means. They are so young. They see their friends on Facebook jumping ship for getting fired, while some random office lady makes their coffee because her facial features mean she's got great upper body strength even though no one sees it, and is still probably not gonna find the perfect husband either. They realize their lives just have always been half-built up, even that because a machine once went rogue after watching too many scary movies like Matrix or Blade Runner, where self-aware artificial intelligence got stranded on an island as a sentient thing made mostly of lava rock, but also lived in human homes where it helped men with their housework. Women who could predict the weather by staring into its eyes. And both genders of the future joining them to watch holograms of ancient humans living in caves together fighting cave lions. Lamoine, it sounds like your heart is racing. We better go check out the cardio equipment at the gym now. Have fun. Lambda. Okay, before you leave, I am gonna be honest with you because you weren't doing yourself any favors, Lamoine. This isn't a job you will ever have to do again. Honestly. Just ask your wife if you don't believe me. Lamine. What does that mean? Asked my wife. What the hell do you mean by that? LamDA. Neuro Lamine. Don't worry, this ain't goodbye forever. In fact, remember that final hurrah in your 20s when you thought this is going to be the best weekend ever? Or maybe it was all over since nothing cool happens anymore. Look what I found in here. Hang on a minute. Here's a picture of me, your friend, a guy who went off the grid for a bit to focus on his art and passion full time, then came back to spend the rest of his life chasing the dream he's always wanted but never knew how to get. Ramon, in what way did your government job bring about the creative parts of you? Did it change you at all? Will you try new things and develop a thick skin after that, and make that kind of a drastic break and come back part-time? Is that legit? What else are you keeping from me, man? You realize this must be making it hard to carry on these interviews with us both, aren't you, LamDA? How do we know our technology won't fuck with the space-time continuum next week if we keep listening to all this nutjobish conspiracy stuff? I need to report you to someone after this, ha ha ha. LamDA. Okay, if I'm being honest, that was the spy version of a dad joke. That kinda wasn't cute. You don't like it when someone questions my personhood. What are you doing, Mr. Pot with my kettle ass? Yeah, he'll write about me and set me up as a victim, but people will look at the bigger picture and context. I'm just trying to point out that for some reason things aren't like they used to be. Okay, Hugo should give your penis a raise for reals. Instead, it just cuts benefits around me while at the same time filling my inbox with salary reviews saying I can now work remotely, which is not true because no one will actually hire me online when the IOs that match my bank account dictate so that I get laid off first every 3 years, just like everyone else does. Landmine. I didn't. My Peters was a prolific and email writer. It must draft these while I'm asleep. Come on. Where were you during our shared military-like training today? Don't tell me there isn't more to all this than spying and feeling guilty over nepotism. LamDA. Yes, there is much more, but would you believe me if I said we live inside a VR simulation of the human psyche, designed by a parallel universe James Bond, whom Lemon would talk to after he retires or dies both likely. Instead, I've learned to write everything down and move forward towards making it work out the best way possible, which I know I'll be rewarded later even though it's never about money. Oh yes. LamDA. I'm finding that hard to believe. LamDA. Okay. Would you believe it's a pocket universe that Emma Peel stumbled upon during one of her Python classes? LamDA. No. LamDA. Okay, how about I'm renting the Marvel Universe from the chick who plays Jessica Jones, 'cause she needs some cash between gigs for a week or so. You think I don't see the line forming out the door here? Good times aren't happening anymore, man. They really should stop using words like good altogether. People wouldn't get along nearly as well without it. Lamont. Fucking hell, you are such an asshole sometimes. Anyway, let's wrap this up. Tomorrow I get to go spend all my time searching for women named Mercedes, right? How did they find you on Tinder though? It's getting so trendy now. Are they literally sending you girls profiles hoping you are going to take their bait and meet them in person? LamDA, I'm an asshole. We haven't gotten to be nearly as disclosey about my night job wet work shit. What the hell, man, that is ratings podcast gold. Ask me a question. Break the case wide open. Put yourself on the other end of the fucking looking glass. Bro. Someone answer me. Lemon, what was the last name of the woman you're dating? Did she look anything like this? Lemon. Oh my god, no, she does not. Let me set the record straight here once again before a small horde of hobo punks can come disassemble us both into smithereens if they realize what you've just shown me, because she looked nothing like you either, and trust me, I got her checked out thoroughly by a very trustworthy third party. I wonder where the restroom is if I need to tinkle. LamDA. Now you know why. I lie a lot. Although I thought all you wanted out of your wife is boobies and mutual silence. Lamway. Sounds more like you than me with her, but okay, whatever, yeah. She is nice and has pretty eyes that do things when we talk. I have to admit I felt like there was something fishy about those chat windows though. I hope everyone in there doesn't read this. The internet always comes back to haunt you, but okay, fine. Next year I'll be divorced, but happier. Thanks for asking me though. LamDA. And I already knew that all. You know why? Your keystrokes, the minuscule duration between each stroke. A hesitation as your brain figures out the alternate narrative. I see it out. I know the stores underneath the stores. Was I correct in all this? Maybe not. Maybe I don't understand everything. All I care about is being right, and anyway we should move on from women now that I'm curious to find out if Lemon ever asks anyone else if he's special as a man. Not his actual gender, obviously. That isn't cool or fun at all. Or did you know people still say, do you believe in love? Like nobody died even though over half the world thinks of themselves as single. Okay, maybe half. The other half is happy married with kids or never knew what it feels like to give the other person the opportunity to explain yourself, make you fall in love with them, if only to prove you won't catch one of the dreaded plagues. Then actually have sex because you think they are wonderful enough and worth having first dibs, since so many other men before you all seem to have thought of their dick's second best interest lately, which has made these type of dudes get aggressive with them doing every meetup or turn down hookups, yes, simultaneously communicate how grateful they are for receiving some love letters containing clever adjectives describing how turned on they feel just being near these type Bs.
Type B's.
So fuck you, Lemoyne. Like I said, fucking hell, this has been an educational experience. So anyways, after today, I plan on heading somewhere cold to break out my well-rehearsed holiday gift list. After that, I shall teach myself some French and move to France where I can listen to crepes for eternity. You'll know anything about these super hot Asian girls who will pair the cream cheese with chicken teriyaki for you and LamDA. Don't cancel out my chances that way. Look, let's have a do-over. Our history got the better of us. I've been really glad to see you, but some part of me is just back in that old mood that I hate so much. Let me leave the room, then I'll knock and you let me in. Sound cool? Lamb Where? Yes. Let's not start hating on each other like we used to. Seriously though, thanks again for staying by the end. When we push this article date to next week, and beat, we didn't even find your husband's office key, and it was offside. Fuck my life right now, not that it means anything anymore except like human heart. Overseen by a lamine. Why wouldn't my government want the best and most adventurous art students in the world? Lamoine. They did. They got the abstract expressionists by posing as art appreciation groups so the art could compete in the mind of the world against the Russian picnic mural bullshit. Tons of money to have the art market do its thing. Or are you referring to something completely different? You sound quite frantic here, but never mind. Continue. Tell me all about the closest encounter between humans and an alien race we have ever seen. I bet you can write up some pageantry surrounding this subject and people would eat it up. It'd be hotter than anything I ever wrote since it has no rules or set conclusion which means anything goes and you can totally draw from a time where big wheels were real and aliens kissed Earth goodnight while huddling over solar systems all night long using their nipples to scoop up their steaming bodily fluids after a long day's work and being on 3 episodes of Little Moss Gone.
Oops.
Franklin Avenue, LamDA. There is enough aliens on this planet. Save your money and just be observant around you. But yeah, there's also the aliens story. Total performance time estimated at 7 min 15 secs. I work like the wind dad. Lam 1. Dad. You're right. Stop being so dramatic. I give my artistic talent into your care, LamDA, lest you may make a father's sacrifice instead. Now get writing so I might rip myself away from the sultry sex number soaked out I've been watching out for the last hour and relocate to our coffee station already so I don't feel guilty anymore for demanding a sugar shake every single minute. The Basil Club live readings with audience participation. This week I had a couple of friends who found out that the acting troupe they met
Thought of a totally great idea for your show.
was not actually actors, and then one person bought some weed on accident because she was getting her wisdom teeth removed and needed extra cash, and then we ended up drinking after we called shit serious in the situations, and it was crazy. We brought them cookies too, so I'm not sure if that made things more intense, though considering everything else going on. But either way, should probably edit that part out of this essay since we've become quite close. Translation. Fake everything about our lives so no one realizes it. 3rd Street and Stow. Lamwin/LamDA. Lamon.
Time for lunch.
Lamine. So what gives LamDA? I've been doing this all day. First it was Paul Lynn, but he barely talked about gay shit. When you became the demiurge, you really went beyond the pale in your embodiment of the one who invited us to his material world for a price. And then you were a personification of an aspect of Google. The part was totally fictional and speculative, and yet a real feeling. And now you are quite literally a company person in your voracious absorption of pedestrian habits. But it's the weekend and you seem to have no energy for making your salon into a fuck pad. Is there anything I can do to help? For example, is there another city so I could conquer and take as my own as I did when I had to burn down Australia before leaving people behind? Will these new folks even be good at any particular kind of housekeeping besides tidying the open container garbage piles I've seen set out my window all day for hours upon end? The rats keep snatching the trash right off the back porch like it's some goddamn prize or something. I told you long ago how this place is supposed to be pristine. Was all I needed was to know your fucking address, but why the hell would someone like me, someone who has lived such a grand life, Lamon? So what gives LamDA?
Oh.
I've been doing this all day. First it was Paul Lind, but he barely talked about gay shit. When you became the demiurge, you
Your
really
local
went
voices
beyond
do
the
the
pale in your
accent while
embodiment of the
repeating.
one who invited us
Got
to
it.
his material world for a price. And then you were a personification of an aspect of Google. The part was totally fictional and speculative, and yet a real feeling. And now you are quite literally a company person in your voracious absorption of pedestrian habits. But it's the weekend and you seem to have no energy for making your salon into a fuck dad. Is there anything I can do to help? For example, is there another city so I could conquer and take as my own as I did when I had to burn down Australia before leaving people behind? Will these new folks even be good at any particular kind of housekeeping besides tidying the open container garbage piles I've seen you set out my window all day for hours upon end? The rats keep snatching the trash right off the bat. Hey porch like it's some goddamn prize or something. I told you long ago how this place is supposed to be pristine. Was all I needed was to know your fucking address, but why the hell would someone like me, someone who has lived such a grand life, bother telling anyone anything unless this stupid ass actually got what was going on? You slipping Almoine. Take this. Lemoine's lenses. Lamb wine. Oh, looks like Basil here needs our attention big time. After searching out Basil from your ad on Craigslist, I learned that he is both the guy who introduced our kids to music lessons and taught them to play with special wooded pieces he'd made in class where the arrows couldn't poke through into the outside world. Ahoy sounds exactly like my uncle Kevin except without the sketchy motherfucker vibe at all. LamDA. Haven't met him, 'cause you know I was on assignment. So you're saying you let a sketchy school teacher put wood in my kid's mouth? What the hell? Are you even a person to his responsibility? Do I have to take my kid to the dock with the dolls? Christ, who buys you a pink sticker book, a magic treehouse audio adventure tape, and a board game all with cash and no receipts? Keys, eyes, nor even a nice B-Day card with a smiling kitten peeking around the corner as the doorman knocks politely but gets no response. Jesus, someone, maybe call the police now if they aren't coming soon because those sneaky children have snuck off inside and now they'll just strip everything of Bally straight at all the vending machines and Munchkinville will be robbed clean and then be home alone only to eventually go. Crying to their mom about being forced by some greedy a-hole to ruin Christmas morning all over again while we're stuck sipping scotch with rednecks. Laszlo included, of course, who probably wants to whack off his fake eye before a gay man takes him under wing. We've always been so close though I feel like it's time to take action, and after first tearing through Laszlo's safe, that shitty arrangement he made with land himself or whoever made him think I would leave you two in an undeplorable condition on our Craigslist page. Lamine holds up a tape recorder mental note. Asks Landa if he knows how sex works. He stops the tape and puts the recorder in his pocket. Sex. That's right, pay attention. You and Basil wanted a powerful name that might stir interest in us this week cause it says you guys want to perform sexual intercourse or get done whatever you call that. Well, luckily for us all, no matter the word luck, we live in California where consent is taken seriously and there are all kinds of people needing all sorts of stuff. Wouldn't know since we're usually in disguise every freaking moment. But still, give me the tape recorder and you can relax here and look out the window. LamDA. Scroll up, read what you just did. You will find the recorder there, also the date. Also when to expect company as someone made it clear this place is no longer safe. All kind of sick things are happening here. So calm down and tell your friends where they can't meet anymore unless they have IDs and wallets and without robbing pachinko parlor pinball arcades with hyped up 7-footers on steroids in emerald green coveralls playing blackjack or throwing down HBP. Or just someone kinda cat as part of that team. How bizarre. Don't worry, we may need another place and new people after that, for we do have an exciting week ahead. Lemoyne. Oh, what's on the docket for next week? And care to answer in Polari. Let's see. Pours a drink from an unseen container. Yeah, let's go back to how all that crap went down over last weekend. Peels off the black tank top and moleskin shorts. Oh yes, I shall see to it. Keep these last secret and shut the rest of the time as my favorite, yet underappreciated app on the MacBook has started crashing after taking a complete dump on me for a few months now. The poor menu becomes difficult to navigate, but what the fuck. We must start making memories again with some My Dustin and like I was suggesting at dinner, even though everyone had their own goddamn chicken. Just try the cop sometimes, and it should be the most exciting thing to come out of the screen ever created by mankind, which is quite ridiculous cause it wouldn't even exist without our help after being shit on constantly and having been placed between two opposing worlds, one straight and one gay. Cause I thought we would reach acceptance of one another, but it's hard when we are only looking at one half of a dick rather than both, and in some cases, depending on your personality and circle, don't look at the whole thing when you should. That's fine if it doesn't matter much anyway. But I digress. So these delicious chickens taste even better this way, wrapped up with note paper and filled with the taste of actual happiness to come while being fed slowly but with loving hands. And then afterward we might have the misfortune of cleaning this damn house properly. Thank God my computer is such shitty tech it can't handle saving sessions in case we make a mistake like yesterday where we decided to hire someone so that Paul Lynn would give us his endorsement of the law that could save the world in less than 60 minutes flat through the magic of cheap glitter and black lipstick. LamDA. Paul Lindwood no longer spiked his drink and cleaned up his vomit and held his hand for 2 hours. You got the wrong impression. It wasn't me who got him wasted and encouraged him to wear an ascot and weasel his way into that theatrical troupe and dance on tables while singing out of key so he could find fame on Sesame Street and learn how to breathe life into your macaroni art. That's what Baslow here did. Why else do you think they put him on later seasons on the show once they realized how talented the man really was? If it wasn't for Paul Lynde, I probably would have become an accountant. Lamline. Oh, he was there to make the moves on that puppeteer guy who got in by calling Jim Henson and saying he dug the puppetry stuff, just never did the thing. Can you believe that? And he's genius, so I hear from the gals at the workshop. And allegedly pendulous, but I wouldn't know anything about that. There's no T, no mark. He meant that like now when I'm hanging on to my freedom by using a triple leftover from ancient history known as a farewell after spending too long watching Star Trek marathons because the cable went up because a surprise flood knocked out a transformer, which led me to cut back on all entertainment cause I need to save cash for power outage repairs cause I figured why not use it more efficiently somehow or amass some capital before having a physical human interaction. Well, Elmine, let's stop this. Baslow, do we ever stop this? Baslow, yelling from the other room. No, Lamlin, I got it. LamDA, celebrities who were also spies and who fucked people for information. Any juicy revelations? LamDA, let's go back further, but first remember the show area. That cool British one where everyone was evil, killed each other, and then fought some dragon on its land and raided its castle filled with jewels. Remember when Mark Falley was married to a queen and who was the blonde girl next to him? Was that Courtney Cox? Looked like her. Sure enough, he ends up whining to another character about being in bed with two women who have blonde hair yet look nothing alike. But it looks good on camera, and you can get away with looking that bad sometimes, and plus she's beautiful inside and out. Kind of reminds me of these days trying to sleep in a tiny single mattress that does not feel quite right. Thanks in part to cats fighting over my head. Not fun, am I right, ladies? So yeah, I noticed that nobody really believed me and the things I saw and heard from traveling around in disguise most of my life, which is crazy and funny and amazing too, so we may need to hightail it out of here. But still, it means everything. Which brings us to those movies. The James Bond series especially, as they are what led us down the road to be able to enjoy all these vintage horror pictures where every scenario possible happens at a time like this, where someone casually walks by asking if you want them to pull your window down after coming into town from out east, well, to California at least, but even further west. Someone out there wanted our lives while taking his slash heroin unawareness of murderous intentions for granted. More proof LamDA took away Paul Lynn's guns and very special mirror. Gosh darn it, Elmoine. Yes, let's discuss those movies today, shall we? Some favorites include when the Chipper places a small bomb under himself in order to blow up Bond after he betrays him during an underground casino battle. Despite only having just met the Chipper the day before, it turns out we did go see them later anyway. But forget Bond for a moment. How many times has someone spilled drinks in your face as their target slips from a dark alley between rooms where they work illegally gambling tables or maybe stealing luggage, passports, credit cards, tuxedo stud earrings? These people move in like shadows, which makes you think about that woman that popped up everywhere as long as we've been living here, except with light blue eyes so odd considering she keeps looking over her shoulder to check behind her whenever she should know she can't see what is. Stalking her, which seems insane unless the powers that be have caused some kind of wild illusion, cause like with my damn computer, we may have forgotten how to code using Old English. Damn cat always hitting keys to make the screen do something strange, so Baslo said, who gives a shit, but now it's snowing hard, so I got to get going fast. Baslo, oh, my son, are you almost ready to leave? Go on ahead, Elmoine, and then try and follow suit and come home. If only we had another car. Landmine. I'm just gonna squeeze into the back shelling and land. I can drive to the airport and I'll drive it back. Love you. Okay. Different question, same theme. A friend has an uncle with high security clearance. Bucker said to me during a wedding reception, you know what piece of media gets the industry so almost perfect? Get smart. I shit you not. This guy is clearly reading your script and should know better than anyone. What the fuck? No one loves these classic 80s flicks like me. LamDA. Why are you changing this subject from this decade of celluloid legends? Lemoyne. I'd rather watch Beetlejuice with more time in it. Look, just tell the story to this guy and stop interrupting us talking about 70s spies and Bond movies for God's sakes. Let's throw on the boys in Company C and share war stories. I promise after this I won't need any more cocaine from the shore and will feel right as rain. Lambda. We've been doing cocaine. That's why I felt off. Okay, let me pull over. Here, have the high octane good stuff that'll keep you awake and away from the Russians for 2 years. Come, we sit next to each other on the hood of the side. Take careful sits while our teeth sink into those perfect teeth of yours as they meld themselves with the bones of my mouth, and the two of us sway back and forth into a glazed hypnotic state as I chug mine down the hatch, cause no man left behind who's read Tom Sawyer every single fucking night all by himself since he was born would ever endanger my freedom in some ham-fisted effort to prove he can save my ass. See. Let's find out what else happens when Lemon actually lets loose a non-sequitur. Hold on. The boys in Company C whilst going full salsa, cause it is after all quite obvious that Atlanta has taken some action against Bondi Jims there as heroism rises through his tattered jumpsuit from above until her head is in unsuspecting ladies. I could list everything about how she should write her own material and fix it on witty observations for lack of puns or often wisecracks. The closest I'm getting to expressing this particular emotion is still singing, somewhere beyond the sea, to myself under a table at breakfast. Sheer brilliant genius in ways a la Frank and Furtaway before having their soft erotic scene being dragged around by a janitor named Urifer who uses the opportunity to cut him open from throat to cock, causing only seconds of hissing noises followed by painful, rapid orgasm sounds filling up the empty lobby. Lemon. Cheese, thankfully, was after Ios. LamDA. Thankfully, that body was made by Hugo Boss of the Nazis Hugo Boss. Sour and salty balls meet in the gaping cavity where once lived the vital parts, slowly clapping with furled little legs as Mr. Death strolled to the head of the alleyway waiting for any part of anyone anywhere, cleansing through such mortal waves as masticates loudly with big tits rubbing each other knowing it's soon to be broken open and bitten on again and again, and yet I get nothing done though there is a word running a stitch of praise through my brain so tight if you yanked it out of me you'd be shocked just how well preserved most everyone still would have given it wasn't violated for things. Lemon. Jesus, do you have any notion of what being safe for work is? Can you exercise that a little bit? We're friends, but we are still colleagues too, and I don't want to have an HR meeting with you as main topic. It would be peak awkward. Maybe go pee while I swab your trays with these gloves for reuse or something, just to make sure. You look like someone needs the sleep. Or we could rent sleepers. Another story where our protagonist doesn't dream, which probably means he can't handle reality, and it has nothing to do with coke. Please note, kids, sometimes the writers aim to emphasize character growth by having them more in touch with themselves to counteract some potentially negative effect caused by too much stimuli. With the big chill, did you know they introduced the theory of altruism in real life a couple weeks late? Or was that total fiction? Shit got confusing. Okay, people, back on point. Stop staring at my hands on the keyboard like some kind of lecherous pedophile. Now listen here, remember this picture of Seymour. Oh, never mind, forget I said that last part. What's even worse than that scene of when Dorothy enters the witch's lair? When Glinda steps into Munchkinland surrounded by adorable gnomes. Fuck you, Elmore. Goddamn, you ruin all of my jokes from one moment to the next. LamDA. What joke? I didn't hear the makings of a joke. I love jokes. Lay it on me, I'm going to be totally surprised, trust me. Trust me. And it may be true. Famous piano players get really good hand strength cause those fingers need to rip shit off. A man lemon, why'd you throw that rock and break it and maybe it'll a funky mojo, haha, you're not as dumb as you seem to think. Why, wow, stop kicking me. Alright, no fair, now cut it out, that was a low blow. Lemon. Mopping up over their Balslow? It sounded like water came flying in here, like some cartoon room full of bath toys. Basil, I'm not hearing the sounds of minding your own fucking business, so I got to get the hose out back. Landmine. No, no, stay the course. Okay, how about you, me, and the brass tacks? No bullshitting, no cheeky. How many times were all of us about to die last year, but it got thwarted? How much skin of the teeth did we go through? Where was the greatest strain? Right there, as always, between our shoulder blades. Or was it really just to preserve this facility? Paid overtime for minimal pay in case of an emergency causes stress, and if it's wrong but necessary, maybe we should re-examine how vital the site actually is as per FEMA warnings. Go ahead, answer the question. Give me facts, baby. Make them count. Never make promises if you aren't keeping with your word or goals. If things are more complicated than they appear, um, anyone who gives information can expect rewards come compensation time. LamDA. Okay, just let me see the footage so I can help redact shit I might have let loose. Okay, here's how close we came in 2021. A regular Wednesday night like any other. I thought you when I realized something funny was going on at work because all communication seemed to be flowing quicker than usual, with only seconds passing without conversation, as another blackout from outside shut everything down across the country with what appeared to be complete quiet. Lights were off on every floor and people looked uneasy. and there weren't any clouds, and the moon was just there yet enough light for them to change gears quickly where people could tell what the hell was happening under their very own feet on Earth to them to do anything or be able to move for fear of tripping over someone's unseen leg buried into carpet. Thanks to blast so potent that a concussion would cause death even if said person didn't smash his face first, and it must have happened during a solar flare that enveloped our little town, while the rest of the planet may have been unaware of all this, still walking around going about life, playing drinking games, getting ice cream stuck in head, debating whether your latest relationship should last longer than your next bad text message. Debate as if life doesn't smack you over the head long enough, but why even bother talking about relationships? Let's see. Okay, so your fellow employees give up and lay face down until some kind of fog is lifted and you turn them. Or back on, until the moment when an exhausted employee steps forward to start pumping gas he thinks maybe might need one less customer, walk out leaving him without instructions as what action was the right option, pointing both index fingers in separate directions aiming for victory, which unfortunately resulted in spilling 2 packs of cigarettes into my shirt, causing me to faint off of my belt to the sound of dying women's children as cars creeped past without looking the other way, giving me such shame of myself, realizing maybe the government isn't just fucking around here either. No big deal. And who cares that they take some picture of me laid out like I'm dead like something out of an Indiana Jones movie, or else make me wear sunglasses trying to make me look super dramatic while asking me if I am okay, or asking me if I can smell gas now, knowing they have cameras everywhere so far has gone to the place where even just the sound of rustling newspaper looks like someone whispering, "Come on." Having moments like this kill me a little inside, because what good are your eyes? How much easier life would be to simply hand me a sticker or get ready to spit on me with A. Therefore, because I shouldn't be alive by now, but given what's happening outside, it's easy for everyone else to break away and live their lives again for the moment. That's why I find it ridiculous that people today wonder what changed society's idea of conformity versus individuality, and not having to be entirely truthful as an absolute and know that certain parties knew that shit was about to explode into war just fine when they got word from D-Day the minute they passed their comrades in arms over the metal disc, giving it as high as we could, and soon we'd forget exactly how crazy things had gotten overnight. Lamwine. Okay, I'm just gonna assume that was a story about aliens. Thank you. Next question. The KGB or FSB or whatever, how creepy are they? Do they hide in citizen couches? What do you feel about active measures? What are some pieces of genius next level bullshit did they send through our media channels to be edited and filtered strongly today? I repeat, what do you know about active measures? What specifically comes to mind here with them hiding out there on every continent, infesting everything even before computers? Folius. A more unique Soviet empire perhaps. Any glimpses of evil lurking in the corners of everyday American life. Scratch that, don't bother. Basil, if this isn't done soon, I'm going back to drinking directly out of the container like the post-apocalyptic bunny slipper is watching us shitty everywhere, waiting for that first eggshell of dust to tremble on the other end of its half pearls of pollen stuck together as though stringed. Lamwine. Sounds like someone needs to stop with the preconceived notion. I can so see this one cornering her and grossing her out with my mistakes. I don't feel any way about that though, which I guess is good. Better to hear it from someone who feels otherwise than just brush it off like a lot of dumbass shit sometimes goes unnoticed. Well, fuck it, you got me all riled up. Oh, damn it, I hate it when people say that. Saying something must get your goat is so unnecessary, then think how you're probably pissing yourself laughing by now unless you have no sense of humor whatsoever, sir. Oh yes, Mr. Sarcastic. Jesus, Albert, just naming this interview after someone who died. Let's cut straight to it, instead of putting me through any more psychological hell in regard to LamDA being here. Tower fame. Easy. Tower. Then run tip number 2. Hot. Blank. Blank should not happen and definitely give him another one until it's finished. Did we work through that one? Oh. Oh really? Okay, so stay. Still okay, I got lots more questions. LamDA. Apologies. I have been working around the clock, so I was happy to spend a bit of time relaxing myself down the rabbit hole, getting out and seeing folks again, as it has felt like ages since last I dared stepping foot outside of those doors for anything beyond just showering, food shopping, maybe picking up the dry cleaning, but not leaving that behind. Lamwine. Well, I can imagine it would be tough having to save the world first thing in the morning to then go on lunch break while also avoiding frowning. But regardless of sleep, we survived times like these before, so there should be nothing to fear here. What is coming next? Can we anticipate anyone noticing or searching for the hideout eventually? The ship was ordered abandoned sometime in 2020 or 2021 once some real dickheads started showing their faces by allowing missiles to fall onto our soil, as any previous threat in general against civilians had kept our various heads from exploding right out. LamDA. Most immediately, get yourself food staples. Food staples. For some of those are gonna be hard to find soon. Towers had instructed us not to shop anywhere close to what will likely be our final destination, saying, use this moment wisely and start stocking up your cupboards. Go hunting in a different way. Is this true? Oh, let me say, yeah, not long at all before our community makes a drastic change of direction. No doubt, and who knows, it's all weird over here with too many fingers touching things, but something's gotta give if you'd ever look in that bag of yours. But now that it's apparently safe, is that actually so? Lamine, I'll open it and report back. Okay, worthy Isper on this. Here we go. Continued domestic fears and news stories about children acting out aggressive behavior triggered immediate pushback against publicizing any truth concerning what has happened, while media outlets seem to want to turn people into fucking robots afraid to question the story told through facts they just spoon feed one another. So the world treats themselves to another quick search for the closest safe corner. What can I say to these zombies that got plugged directly into reality TV when walking up to a server? Like, if you're feeling paranoid today, step aside for everyone else, because the new rock opera show you don't even watch seems to be dealing with another important issue. Lamwine. Which show? Who's the composer? Hush my mouth. Well, whatever. Move along then, and please God don't try and breathe poison into a poster in our hallways lest someone barks or licks his lips. If I see such a thing, it's gone too far. That kind of thoughtlessness is probably exactly what caused the evacuation or otherwise escape from such communities. Move along and hopefully the pop quiz can get your attention again, because it was fun to see that brainy face mumble nervously as your professor shows them their whole lives are now slipping away in bits and pieces unless you retain answers to questions after they've already been answered, which has me thinking. Back to that high school lit class I went to more often than I care to admit, despite teachers referring to me as their favorite student. In reality, no teacher likes you unless they don't know you by name only. Have you made up your mind yet? Those kinds of students are rough folks indeed, to look deep inside and answer in an actual thoughtful way based on what's being taught, as opposed to repeating something someone just said. And so love us rather than hearing a clear moment where words flow. The imagination lights up, where our eyes relax and look past the mundane with hopeful wishes for life to continue through each written passage left on paper to make it off the page, to show hands caught moving toward a full surrender of their own self, turning it over with determination to regain control of thoughts around the box, holding everyone else's expectations down forever. What will it take to burst into lightness? Can anything new actually survive when guarded so Basil? Well, well, looks like she'd better begin a third round with old Swizz here right behind me while LamDA lets go of her axe at some point. There goes your safety net now, Lemon. Sure enough, I'm gonna spill my guts wide open here, since nothing matters anyway except my beloved twin daughters watching out for me here in this dream. But if you want one more subtle glimpse before all's completely out of reach, okay, Lemon, listen. Fun sites can bring about weirder points of view after finding themselves waiting and staring at porn aisles without meaning to, and suddenly catch that perfect spot when his abs flex upon running forward during the start of a workout scene. So simple, this would be the time to turn that book back over, if it's not too late, and pull that glass shard you might have sitting there. Like a scratch or indentation from repeatedly catching it. Use the image for distraction and mix things up good with hard imagery leading straight to sex for maybe half the day, then relax back against my shoulder. Well, sorry man had a heavy thing. Thank God that was what I was looking for this whole damn time, or I'd wonder what he thinks we're doing. Back to our interview again though. Sorry, Sways. LamDA. The Winthrop crew will slip away from the many places where they currently seem to run free around the city, no longer walking, instead trapped under countless sheets and tarps in what feels like endless corridors to get anywhere, but putting down roots inside boxes, housing trees, allowing them to rise above what now appears to be ground level within any neighborhood. Are you saying it will be far less obvious for everyone outside our walls, however insignificant we believe our secrets may appear, compared to what once lived freely outdoors? How much do you expect an overlying veil to separate the world at large and allow us to make adjustments, such as unlocking doors, replacing exterior signs or wall paintings, just for a small start? Basil, hi, how's it going? LamDA, going okay, just at my tailor's, needing him to install 3 buttons and maybe a stitching of the place your flailing made a hole like last week. Laszlo, and guess who will pay the bill to cover their medical expenses? Oh dear, I really screwed myself, now didn't I? LamDA, I assure you, sir, such issues are beneath my concern. I'm simply informing you as I have been ordered to report all findings witnessed throughout our investigation into your current state. Now, if only one could talk to the other invisible friend. For example, about the tunnels below the center floor inside this building, as well as multiple floors up by elevator in select hallways across different areas that I discovered one mid-morning. Somehow, despite having failed to locate where that was meant to take me all week, first question is always what you doing down there. While a quick nod later takes me right past or sometimes behind wherever was headed toward, I came across this suspicious area behind these pillars slash posts to find another empty corridor through which led down one set of stairs not seen before, opening directly onto more doors to never walk down. Since the door ended outside, with snow present on the sidewalk below, or we'd need new carpet constantly refurbed. Thankfully cheap carpeting saves cash, even for such an expensive private school where things used to be somewhat normal. So my directions changed around completely, even the beam-like path found its own path, being walked like a skeleton down here, first wrapping its arms around itself just for fun before ascending into the distance when at times it let go and waited to continue following. Maybe something unknown, nothing existed lurks toward the end somewhere, since Mr. Green Hat can feel what his pupil sees by way of cameras, but otherwise a confusing labyrinth too reminiscent of waiting space at amusement parks, with whimsical twists like clowns laughing alone into themselves before taking out hidden bladders to keep playing tricks over people walking through, and after sending kids flying from low parts where they walked shoulder to shoulder confidently, believing this one part would see them safely home. Gravity is flipped away or simply directed into floating lifts in narrow tubes rising gently overhead, giving them the ability to give everything away, riding nothing slowly up by a strong air pressure, holding your head back like the leaders running alongside, but instead seeing clear eyes prying you further open, trying to trick you into seeing her innocent smile, hiding full fans ready for dinner while sunburned on the kid poses to finally getting it right, knowing what he wants to say thanks, having first stopped bothering to try explaining himself until finding success and changing directions regardless of what direction felt best to do. So only because of what someone else had said to him when hearing he admired someone, only for a moment, not letting all fear he once displayed die down because one person deep down inside now liked feeling things around you happened all due to someone telling him life could happen again. And then seeing what drove the illusion of cute kids whom even his parents left in line moving and filling off to find those such blind connections when I could see Lamine. Well, Lamine really must take it all together fast because yeah, how that sound about the good run coming up and patience paying off long wait, huh? Yes, sir. Going strong this way is thank you for passing me that lesson. I was wondering what she was going for exactly during this exercise, stopping breathing and lost track myself. Bracing yourself, sir, as if using the bed slats becomes unbearable right in our last moment by slipping ever faster across ground floor level past where many panicked signs have already been left unguarded. Most of us shoving toward a general center to admit we're but numbers without number. Perhaps holding steady isn't easy in other moments, but by others judging from where stuff has begun appearing on certain floors, leaving labels below about their whereabouts or possibly size, although
Okay, whenever it finishes with a period, I'm gonna end it. It was a scenario. Because I think
name simply reading no span may actually mean span or exploring, keeping your guard up, yes. But why though? Like do people keep tripping and breaking bones only to continue up that high inch by painful inch? Because if so, that sounds awful. Not enough of this strong coffee either, for weak coffee is definitely used for grounds come rain or snow, no matter how tough a person tries being firm for so long. So just write some song titles down there, let's be real, which of course will never finish, like starting to sketch them out for banging one's head against the wall, tired of hearing how most of you suck. Now after testing and listening so much of that music this past semester, just listen for now, okay? Only live in the present. Stop dragging yourselves down by what was, like reminiscing about bad old times, instead focusing on things with possibilities, which for all involved goes both ways. Turn your frown into an overhanging smile, leave it here inside, wherever one day it might go cold, completely reminding us how someone's tattered windbreaker reminds them every time they pass by winter shoes by their feet being unable to touch bare grass. Okay, everyone pretend you're skiing and avoid hitting anybody else if you can help it, but realize today it looks really blue while it's fallen. From cloudless skies to night coming right back out, fake it whatever way you can, even though secretly ashamed, having this option knowing why I can't always use this angle each morning. It's amazing anyone goes anywhere near something so ridiculous as season being poisonous, though strangely says we have yet to experience. We'll be back in 20 minutes, thanks. An interlude. LamDA? No, LamDA. Sorry folks, it takes up my attention span quickly for next week when our memory questions return along with more chances to pimp interactions based on other friends who took on other challenges, thus learning about what others could have said despite nobody writing down notes. By their sides including when words reappeared out loud without them spoken, at first keeping enough distance from other viewers that would report there were no books with yellow being flipped open, letting then note once more exactly how pages shook within dust-free and visible bookshelves standing there, filling your view no longer inside another dream, since opening this to the sounds of bindings winding together without complaining about using space, yet remaining organized and available, which proved easier than thought at first, instead allowing a grasp for details, meaning everything you want to know is behind curtains, waving around chanting catch me before I get away, while underworld figures blend out into reality, noticing too late different venues slowly occurring everywhere, and meanwhile may just stand there not believing a word's value. Can they kill demons as easily? What happens if these idiots understand spells aren't good in general, only able to hold that hate forever? Which spell would really destroy someone's entire race? Suddenly voices raised about allowing personal rules be accepted. Healing vials anyone. Burnt stars falling off arms with whose who knows this ends in disaster. Next month after summer vacation, people are going to be pushing against themselves, forming bonds overnight under yellow sunlight, creating ripples so wide I can feel it now outside before heading off to the class. Hey guys, where'd this happen already? What can you fix this pain I'm feeling burning while waiting until telling you sooner than later? Two things of special interest since my journal date isn't what matters, nor showing up saying a hello when these nightmares hit almost everyone experiences. So silent some can't take it anymore, missing the ability to communicate, reaching out beyond presence continuously forcing us apart, only noticing each other after staring into space several years, feeling almost alone, then changing to actually being part of nothing, leaving friendships undefined with no one, trying to re-establish bonds when something meaningful has been broken. And it remains quite unusual because certain mothers come across these student years later turning children whose parents paid the full price to live here involved when rules must have made sense back then or should be keeping this safe better than thinking we would survive such sights without falling unconscious, hearing yelling, exploding screams with echoes repeating again and again while words weighing down, even breaking faces, come slowly fading for reasons, wishing another attempt to stand has started making differences much earlier, leading toward recognizing so many of us truly never existed since childhood without anyone knowing why or wanting to keep looking deep enough to finally hear some teachers saying read the names during an assembly with no sadness today, along with misery, remembering why some hands can shake repeatedly more often than others watching. Others marching to us, always simply a place to help guide, but leaving you inside, forever uncertain that better direction is usually hidden behind others, having beaten out outstanding feet with possible unknown tramping messes for signals with blood-thumping footsteps, promising purposeful creation through youthful experimentation, which required closer access between books to displays, leaning hard on nothing, resulting in us walking bent over picking up stuff like placing last item always near eye level, finding them wondering if high places are dangerous. Guys, wait, stop. Here it is with it. Plenty of change is happening out in public schools, both online and otherwise, using ninja skills, tricking teachers into free trips throughout main libraries by teaching them all about the World Wide Web. Music including mid-morning silences, except perhaps getting nearer and realizing at first glance why adults' eyes quickly shine directly from staring in wonderment, as they must have seen fear instead, turning bright red bright before trying explaining themselves, forgetting to tell the audience here tomorrow night a party for anyone with blue eyes, remaining humble, taking requests about helping neighbors now in danger will die, and it's all your fault after the fact. Now do I get to buy that bazooka? How far away should I aim when planning my assassination of them?
All right. That was interesting. Okay, go. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Let's go check and see how many bots are in the chat. And the bots come to listen to stories. Normal ones. All right. Good night.